After a successful but wet trial event in 2021, the Connacht Motor Club found themselves running the final rounds of the Electo-Irish Hillclimb and Sprint Championship 2022 on the 17th and 18th of September on the south side of Drumahair, County Leitrim, just over 15 km from Sligo. Chris Houston was last year's winner and arrives here with a 14-point lead in the overall championship, ahead of John Donnelly, who prevented him from wrapping up the title in Donegal with a strong performance on a rainy Saturday and a win in the dry on Sunday. On the Saturday morning outside Drumahair, it was John who led by 0.05 of a second. A win against Houston would prolong the championship to the final day. On run 2, however, Chris improved by over a second, while Donnelly lost time grazing some bollards at maximum commitment. On a final third run, Chris made it a certainty going faster, while John didn't improve on that initial time. Another maximum score from Houston put them on equal points, but Donnelly would lose out on a tiebreak. A further reduction in times on Sunday and a winning margin of nearly 1.8 seconds gave Chris Houston a clear victory in the 2022 championship. Chris was presented his award for winning the 2 days by the man who was instrumental in establishing this event, fellow competitor Tom Devaney. Tom was second in Class 6 both days in an immaculately prepared Jedi and finished as high as 11th on Sunday. I had a chat with Chris on Saturday evening. He hadn't originally planned to do the entire championship.
Well, I had no plans of any championship in mind at the start of the year. I just was kind of pick and choose a few events that I really like to do. But I got talked into going to Ballyalbin by the folks behind me here. Good friends, Thomas Corey and John Donnelly. And then when I got there, my 2020 registration had carried over to 22.
That was due to not being able to run public events for most of 2020 and 2021.
I don't think at any event there's been more than a few tenths between us, which, you know, it makes it worthwhile coming to the events for, because if you didn't have that competition to spur you on, I don't think you'd really enjoy it as much.
And you, they did a single day here last year, and you actually won that in very different conditions.
Yeah, it was a well-run event, but unfortunately the weather let them down. It was pretty appalling at times, actually. You know, the car didn't ever seem to be straight anywhere, but managed to keep it on the road and won that day. Yeah, it was amazing.
It's been a great season for Chris, and his winning streak even includes last year's event.
On behalf of all competitors, can I thank the club for putting on a great show today. Hopefully the competitors didn't cause you so many problems. So it's actually before 4 o'clock and we've had 5 runs, so that's fantastic. And thanks very much to the officials, the marshals and the rescue team, without whom we wouldn't be here today, wouldn't be enjoying ourselves. So thanks very much everyone.
There may have only been 2 possible winners for the overall championship, but there was a serious battle for the final podium position, with 3 drivers on equal points arriving in Leitrim. They were Ned Doherty in the speed car, which was having a great debut season, Billy White, who expected to be out of the running after his off in the Formula Renault in Limerick, but was after picking up a few points in Donegal, helping Rory Stevens set up the escort, and Russell Stanworth, who had to borrow an engine from another car to take the fight to the last round. Doherty launched himself solidly into 3rd on run 1 and improved as the day went on. Stanworth found himself as low as 7th after run 2, but improved significantly on 3 to reach 5th behind White, who'd surprised himself climbing from 9th to 4th over the day. However, he decided not to risk pushing Stevens' car any further on Sunday and sat into Elaine Kirwan's Class 1A Toyota instead. Ned Doherty had pretty much sealed the championship position after run 2 Sunday and decided to call it a day, which left Russell just 5 hundredths to find to at least take a podium for the round. He found 2 on run 3 but lost time on run 4. On the final 5th run he was frustratingly 0.18 down on his own best, taking 4th on the day and the championship. He should receive a class win for the year, as the 2 drivers ahead of him will receive overall awards. The intensity of the overall Saloon battle for the year landed the 2 main protagonists right in the top 10 each day. Brian Kirwan in the powerful rear-wheel drive Peugeot 205 was setting the pace, with the lightweight Suzuki Swift of Dara Fay doing the chasing at the event, but he had a 2-point margin in the championship arriving here. Brian was 6th and Dara 7th at the end of the first day by just over 0.2 of a second. It was down to 1 point now, but Brian would win a tie-break if they ended equal. Dara led after run 1 on Sunday morning by 16 hundredths of a second. After run 2, it was 16 hundredths in Brian's favour. On run 3 and 4, they both lost time and gave it their all on the final 5th run. We joined them as they awaited their results. They were both too tense to talk. The entire season had come down to this for them.
I give it everything on the last one, so it always kind of matters.
Oh yes, he's so cool. Just go on, be honest.
It fell to Elaine Kerwin to break the news to Brian.
0.1 of a second. Oh my god.
I can't say I'm not gutted.
I just got a new
there you
last
go.
one. I threw it in.
Well done.
Oh,
You earned it. You earned it.
It matters.
Oh well. Thank you.
Next year.
In the top 10, Danny Calnan had actually leapfrogged them in his non-tin top speed car, getting to just over half a second off Ned Doherty's best. John Mahan had moved up to 6th, displacing the two Saloon boys to 7th and 8th. He was busy taking the Class 6 championship off Billy White, who'd led to this event. Even with Billy absent from the class, it wasn't plain sailing for Johnny. He sheared a shaft from his differential on Saturday, but there was no better man to fix it.
Had to change the drive on the differential.
Yeah.
Broke one out of the chicane. Had a spare one, have it done, ready to go.
So what did you do here?
I just shored that off, but I had to dismantle the differential
Yeah.
and just put in a new one,
Wow.
which I had spare.
And that's the twist in it. That's the piece that actually broke, is it?
Yeah, that's the spline piece.
Yeah. That was up on top of there.
It's normally there like that.
Yeah.
It should be straight there.
Yeah.
And that was it. Simple when we had one, and had done it before. So
And with the wee delay that was just there now, you'll probably actually get going without missing a run, will you?
yeah, I missed the run that I broke down in, but not the next one.
Hillclimb Commission Chairman Enda Byrne, who used to double drive with Mahan, helped him scrub up for dinner.
Very good. Looks very appetising.
Catherine Donnelly was 3rd in Class 6 both days, and as high as 13th overall on Sunday. Rory Stevens was 8th overall on Saturday in his SHP Escort, 3rd in Class 3C and holding off Danny Calnan that day. With Billy White's support, he was finding time in the space-framed car. Went a little quicker on Sunday with another top 10 finish and called it a day after 3 runs, having secured the class championship as Ned Doherty, with more points, will receive 3rd overall. Roy tells us a bit about the transition from the Radical to the Sonny Howard RSR space-framed Escort.
I got to know the car in the Northern Ireland sprints and I went well up there. And it's done reasonably well in the Irish Hills, but Billy, in fairness to him, did a lot of work before this sale, raised the car and hardened the suspension, and it's up about 2 inches and it's transformed it.
Having Billy White drive the car shows the benefit of getting another opinion on setup.
Unbeknownst to me, because no one else has driven the car, I've been driving it on the springs and the bump stops for the last year and a half. Billy drove the car last weekend at another hill, and he reckoned there was, so that's why he set 2, because he knew he was driving the next weekend. So in fairness, he's done a great job, and it really has. It's just a lovely car to drive. It always went really well. It has no power. It has no problem power-wise. It's rapid. It's a 2-litre turbo.
It looks like an Escort, so I asked him, does it drive like an Escort?
No, it doesn't feel like, it's not like a Rally Mark II or Mark 1, absolutely not. But it is very enjoyable to drive towards the Radical, because you just had so much in the Radical, no matter what you did, you didn't ever really lose the car. You can not lose the back of it, but you're more active driving this. And I'm enjoying it much more than I did for maybe the last 2 years in the Radical. It's slower than the Radical. The Radical in Donegal was actually 5 seconds quicker. That was the difference. It wouldn't be that difference in a hill like this, though. And Billy, in fairness to him, showed how quick it was. Billy, I think he got 4th overall.
Rounding out the top 10 both days was Damien Walsh in the fastest of the 3B class cars each day. The 2 class wins sealed the championship for him, but there was an intense battle for the runner-up spot with Paul Hamill and Shane Bell on equal points and Willie Bart just 1 behind arriving here. Unfortunately, Shane suffered a mechanical failure and Paul retired after troubles on Saturday. Willie was also defending 3rd in the overall saloons and being pushed hard to it by Christopher Snow. Unfortunately, Willie had a big off on the 3rd run, putting his car out of action for the weekend. He had equalised with the now retired Hamill for 2nd in the class, but would retrieve his old car overnight to secure enough points for 2nd in 3B for the year. The older car didn't really have the pace for the overall saloon battle, and so Christopher Snow is 3rd of the saloons this year after a great first season of Hillclimbs, sharing the car with his dad. I asked them how it was going on Saturday evening.
Going good this year so far. You know, I'm winning the class at the minute, and he's second in the championship. So we decided we'd give it a go. We done work on Tommy's car, and from he borrowed my engine, and we decided we'd do the hills and give them a go, something different. You know.
It was lending their engine to championship sponsor Tommy Gardner for the FIA Hillclimb Masters event that led them into the Hillclimb circle.
Tommy's engine gave up before he was going to Portugal, so I gave him my engine and gearbox, and we went out with him then, and then we decided that we'd give these a try, the hills, and took it from there, and all year we've been coming now, so we decided to sign up for the championship at the start and then give it a good rattle after that.
He certainly gives it a good rattle.
We're still mixing it up with the Hillclimb boys as well, so I'm trying to go for the overalls with them now. So I didn't think at the beginning of the year we'd be where we are, but just a few wet days now helped us as well, so you know, I prefer it was wet the whole time.
With the class they're in, they run on rally tyres, so the results are very impressive.
They're all telling me the slicks will be worth an extra second, so I think tomorrow, because I have the class wrapped up for the championship, I think I'm going to try slicks tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. It could be a big letdown, I don't know, but
Don't turn in too tight.
yeah, that's what they're all telling me, and what's taking off on the start line. So look, we'll try them and see. It'd be just nice to see if we could get matching them. We're just there or thereabouts with the guys. So
It looks like they did try slicks on Sunday and found that second, but actually finished a position down in the overall saloon standings as Tommy Gardner was going so well in the car they work on. Christopher took third in Class 3A on Sunday. Tommy had kept the lads busy with a few offs during the year.
I've had a good one in Limerick and I had one in Galway as well, and so yeah, hasn't been my finest championship.
But you had a mad scramble to get the car together for Donegal.
I did. I'd like to say now that I was very busy putting it back together, but I couldn't say that now. And Christopher and his dad, Chris and Patch, and the lads again have come to my rescue, and you know, they've done great work. And I suppose a testament to the work that they did was the fact that we didn't get to drive the car at all before Donegal, and he just got in and drove it, and it handled perfect. It never missed a beat all weekend. Won the class on Saturday in Donegal, you know, with a car that was completely rebuilt over 2.5 weeks.
And are you more focused on, say, what's going on in your class or in the overall saloons? What do you watch?
After a terrible championship, I'd be lucky now to get third in the championship, to third in the class this year. And John Kennedy is harassing me daily about the fact that I won't get a pot this year. But anyway, I'm delighted for him and Air as well, if that's the way it pans out. But I'm planning that it won't pan out that way tomorrow, so we'll see how we go tomorrow. Like, you know, this year I think we've had a great championship. I think, you know, we've had a few things this year which we haven't had, as in we're getting nice modified cars. We have nice, you know, we have speed cars coming this year with Ned and Danny. You know, there's been some really nice cars out, a lot of really modified and properly modified machines, you know, that people are spending a lot of time on. And you know, I'm really happy to be part of the championship this year, but I definitely know that the pace is up a lot, because like I'm nowhere near where I used to be, and I'm driving as hard as I can.
Well, driving as hard as he can, he did better than expected Sunday, finishing second in the class and winning a tie-break with John Kennedy for second in the championship. Kennedy had taken third in the class on Saturday. Air Massey wasn't challenging on Sunday after an unfortunate incident in the paddock sidelined his car, with which he'd taken fourth in class on the first day. Obviously, with his overall performances in a car optimised to the regulations for Class 1, Dara Fay has run away with the class this year. Ray Cunningham runs his Mini much closer to its historic rally winning spec, took a clean sweep of second places all year. He had strong Mini opposition at this event from non-championship runners Carl Johnston, who finished just a quarter of a second behind on Saturday, and Jerry McGarity, who was just over half a second behind on Sunday. Elaine Kerwin arrived in Leitrim defending third in the class from Patrick Spain. He was giving it loads to try and catch her.
Yeah, just the first time run there, took the first hairpin a bit too hard and hit the bail on the far side there, but it'll get fixed at some stage anyway. It'll live to fight another day.
They were enjoying the competition all year.
It's a great thing to have a benchmark there and to be, you know, giving times to one another, like, because without it you're going nowhere really, like, it sort of boosts one another on, so look, it's great.
She led him for 2 runs and he couldn't see himself catching her.
Look, she's unreal driver, like, and look, it's great to have competition there, like, and, you know, swapping times the whole time, and Yeah, it's just great fun, but I say she has it now at this stage. I don't think I have an answer for her, but we'll wait and see.
Wait and see indeed. On run 3, he took just over 2/10 off Elaine to take points for third. Jerry McGarty, who isn't championship registered, was third position in the class both days. On Sunday, Elaine led for 3 runs, but then Patrick found over half a second on run 4 and a full second by run 5. The points were enough to give him third position in the class championship, but at least Elaine had a consolation of beating her double driver, Billy White, on Sunday by 0.13 of a second. Mark Halligan enjoyed some good early battles in the Class 1B Championship for Centos, but with a strong lead since Limerick, it looked like he was going to be on his own in Dromahare until Quiva White joined him for a double drive. This was a chance for her to build her confidence after an injury in Wexford. Second in class both days earned her third in the class championship from Johnny Murray, who was second. Class 2 was settled in favour of Thomas Sheedy in Donegal with 94 points from Joe Clifford on 87. Carl Johnson picked up 2 wins in the class over the weekend, while John McCorry took second on Saturday in his Citroen Saxo. Mick O'Shea has already won Class 4 this year, so John Farrell was the sole entrant in the class in his Mark 1 Escort, but was probably keeping his eyes on Ray Cunningham and the Minis. He finished just behind Ray and Johnson on Saturday, but put the rear-wheel drive car one ahead of Cunningham Sunday. Sean McNamara has really come on the pace of the Formula Vs since winning in Donegal. He beat Enda Byrne on Saturday by 0.13 of a second. On Sunday, Sean led from run 2, but Enda dug deep for the final run to win by just 7 hundredths after a mighty battle. Enda won the class championship from Sean, but we expect this level of competition to run all season next year. Siobhan McCann made a welcome return and claimed third in the championship. Class 8A has already been tied up by Seamus Anderson this year, so he sat out this event, and Andy Purser, who was second, picked up his first 2 wins of the season here in his Peugeot 205. 8B has also been settled already in favour of Andy Farmer in Donegal, but there were a number of guests in the class at this event. Kieran Carroll was the fastest of these with his Honda Civic both days. Brendan O'Reilly was second on Saturday in his Ford Escort Mark II. David Hunt was third on Saturday and second on Sunday in a Citroen. Third on the second day was Kevin Cuggan in a Honda Civic. Roy Baldrick in his Talbot Sunbeam split the Snow family on Saturday for second in Class 9B, but with them having a go in 3A Sunday, there was no stopping Jack Deegan for the class win on Sunday. Derek Robinson in another Talbot Sunbeam was second on day 2. Tony Ferris already has Class 10 wrapped up in Limerick, so it was up to David and Alan Quinn to remind us what big-engined rear-wheel drive rally cars can sound like on Saturday. David was the fastest in the BMW E30. Hopefully, some of these visitors in the rally classes will come back for more in 2023, because if 2022 is anything to go by, it'll be another great year.